YouTube, what's going on? You guys know who this is. East New York's finest, hosted by Mike. This is the first video I've done in a couple of things since, well, a couple days. Let's put it that way. More than 2 days, but you guys get the picture. Last time I did a video, I was at Lewis's house. I want to give special shout outs to everybody who have, you know, obviously there was a lot more views than this. See, this illustrates my point as well as Lewis's and Vic. And this is why Lewis was very, very kind of keen on getting rid of his, stop doing the show, because lack of views as well as lack of people, you know, showing acknowledgement, like people watching the videos, because, you know, it takes time and it takes a lot out of you to do these videos. But he kept going forward for Vic and for the people that he loved. You know, people in the community, you know. Me and him always had, you know, like once the show ended, I would say 9 out of 10, I was always the last person to hang up out of everybody else. Definitely 9 out of 10, because we always had our own private, you know, conversations and stuff. You know, losing Vic was extremely hard. Still didn't get over it, and now turning around and to lose Lou as well, it's crazy. I don't know what's I feel like I'm getting I'm sorry about that. I'm getting some kind of what you call it. But anyway, this shout out goes to these three special individuals. First off, to Chris, aka Chris Crispo, aka the man, you know, aka Chris Bunkbeds. Loft bed Chris. Love you, brother. Wasn't for you, I wouldn't have been able to get this far ahead, as well as be there for the family. So thank you, Chris, and I definitely appreciate you talking to, you know, saying to mom, to Lou's mom yesterday. She definitely appreciate that. And again, you know, special shout out to Marley. You know, Marley lost, you know, her husband. She lost Vic, and you know, the three of us were, you know, close and stuff like that, and she reached out to me and she couldn't believe it. So, you know, we basically had, you know, some words for each other. Unfortunately, you know, I guess we kind of missed each other down in Florida. So Marley, a special shout out and thank you to you too. Love you always. And again to the Army guy, even though he was in the Army, not the Marine Corps, I'm not going to hold it against him. But, you know, to brother Marty, you know, and that's Comic Book Fanatics Marty as well. You know, he actually gave me a lot of words of encouragement on that Saturday evening. And Marty, you know, you helped me get strong enough to put my stuff aside and drive down, well, get down there to help out the family. So I guess it's true what they say, that, you know, don't just be strong, be Army strong. So thank you for that, man. I appreciate you individuals. And again, for Tim for starting the GoFundMe account and being strong, because him and Lou was getting close. And now you can say something. Come. And, you know, it was good meeting you. And I didn't know Tim was that tall. You know, he's tall. He's a lot taller than I expected him to be. Beautiful family. You know, that's what we all are. We all are basically family. Everybody up here. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes family have disagreements. We argue. Sometimes people take arguments or disputes or discussions and they just run with the fact that, oh, I just hate or dislike this person, but don't even have a real legitimate beef on doing that. You know, life is too short. Life is extremely short to worry about bickering, beef, and nonsense. If a person does not trespass against you and causing you or wishing you bodily harm or coming directly at you, why bother? You know, losing Vic was hard. Losing Lewis was hard. And I wasn't on the show for a couple of weeks because of my illness, and I was in the hospital. Lou knew this, and the last conversation we had, which was May 15th, which is basically 5 days before Lewis passed away, which he passed away on Friday the 20th. And the last conversation we had, I was a little weary, like, okay, like something felt a little off. But if we all knew you know, we all had that shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But I wasn't feeling too well, and he was worried about my health. Like, Lewis was, well, you don't sound too good, brother. You know, we're going to talk later. And normally we always end it with a real sick joke because everybody know my humor. Or, you know what, I told you later, love you. You know, this time it was more like the same facial feature, same facial, like a, you know, we kind of ended it like that because I was way under the weather. And he wasn't really sounding like himself neither. But to be honest, I was really concentrating on the fact that I was trying to, you know, keep up spirits with, you know, trying to be a good host on the phone with him. But we both weren't feeling good. Oh, excuse me. And with me being older than Louis, it just goes to show life's not guaranteed to nobody, man. Life's not guaranteed to nobody. You know, I was extremely close to Lou, and his family knew this. His mom allowed me and my son to come down there. And the reason I say my son, some people saying, yeah, don't you got other family? Yeah, I do have a wife, but she works. And I have a daughter and another son. Which, you know, my daughter's working, so she could, you know, go through her transitions with being financially a little bit more stable this year than always lean on mom and dad. So she got a summer job where she gets paid good money, so she should be able to cover not everything but most of her expenses as far as at least 4 to 5 months out of the other 3.5 to 4 months they're in school. Then my 18-year-old just graduated high school, and here it is, go figure, he's going into, you know, high school, and he wants to be like his old man. He wants to join the police force. Yes, that might shock a lot of people, but didn't work out, didn't last for me. I'm gonna leave it as that, and we're gonna move on. Anyway, I also want to give shout outs to these individuals. On 3 videos I've done, they've been leaving me a lot of commentary. You know, of course, a special thanks to all the viewers out there who have been supporting by watching views. Then I'm going to move on to what I'm really saying after this. So first off, I'd like to give a shout out to Bronx Connections. Thank you so much for the words of encouragement and caring enough to leave a comment. And this goes for everybody else as follow. Richard Friend, Mark Bucks, Darian G Unit, Yug Southith or South, you know who you are. I'm sorry if I'm butchering anybody's names. Squeezy 614, Dreamicus, if I'm saying it right, Gooch 007, Sean Sosa, M Santos, Chef Sirius, Pop Culture, Fate 29. Of course, he's on a show. That's the man Fate. And again, Chris Eaton, Mutant 0079, Gambit, same person. Ryan Penny, Black Thunder, always. This guy always gets special shout outs and thanks because this man's been following me since my old Mike's on 007 channel. Always been in my corner. Even if there's certain things that weren't agreed on, this individual always supported and knew I was coming from the heart and knew what I meant and knew what I was saying when others just didn't care. They just came to their own conclusions on not even listening. So, you know, Black Thunder, you've been there with me for years. And this is why I illustrate. It's so important for people to follow up, listen to each other, respect each other, because life is short. Why mourn, feel bad, and feel guilty for somebody you should just embrace and show love for? Because life's not guaranteed to you or me. You know, and you know, Black Thunder illustrates that point. I'm trying to keep from being emotional like a big faggot ass crybaby. It's tough. The Long Shot 1982, Luke Jones, Vanish, Susan and Dan. I'm butchering names again. I am so sorry. Northern Monkey and Multiple Souls, Bat Force Times, and again to Vanish. That was beautiful, man. I appreciate that. And yes, Isaiah is he's always with me because he's the youngest. And you know, older kids don't like hanging out with the young kids, especially them being annoying. Wife is always working. I'm retired. So my son Isaiah is always with me. You know, and I don't believe in favoritism. I love all 3 of my kids equal, and I don't think any of I have conversations with my 2 oldest kids. So they understand and stuff. So, you know, whenever they're around each other, they embrace and they love each other, but they annoy each other just like all siblings do. But he's always at my hip because he's closer to me, because he's always with me. And since I'm normally always home, even though I make my own income, it's easier for him to be attached to me than anybody else. And you know what I mean? And I would never want to imagine how it will feel to lose either one of my children or my wife. I think the only reason why the higher being keeps me around, and why my body takes the punishment and all this disgusting poison that's put in my body, is the fact that for some reason my heart and my soul don't want me to leave my family yet. I've asked and begged the higher being to at least give me 9 more years. It may sound selfish, but that's all I'm asking for. I don't give a damn if the night of or the day after Isaiah gets his high school diploma. If the Lord don't want me to wake up or pass out, or you know, whatever way he's ready to take me, all I ask for is that. You know, I had some scary moments, and what's going on, what went on with Louis and Vic, I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't terrified that it could be me, because it's like, you know, my 2 brothers are gone, and it's just me. You know, I don't know anything about the show, or I'm not really that intrigued by. I'm not big into all this like everybody else is in it. A lot of times you see me in the show, I'm just stuck in, you know, in that mode, and I'm just either always doing something just to be on the show, to show support and respect and love to Lou and Vic most of the time anyway. And half the time when I'm saying something, it's either way over the fence, or I think people just go through the motions of listening to it just to listen for argument's sake. And this is what needs to stop. All of the bickering beef, the hypocrisy, the two-faced nonsense, the drama, the bullshit. Like, you know, we all need to figure out a way to help each other out in any time in dire need, because, you know, this is something I have to get off my chest. I'm not going to put nobody's business out there, but being on how Vic passed, and the fact that people came together, did a GoFundMe account, and helped the family get the body over to New York, and everybody helped contribute to Vic. Not as much people, but people did help the Pepe family. Not that they needed it, but you know, it's just good to see that, you know, both of these individuals, you know, left a lot of loved ones and a lot of positive vibes. You know, just through YouTube alone. Now, I just think that it's sad that people can always kind of show respect, woulda, shoulda, coulda, regrets, and guilt for individuals when they pass, but when they're alive, nobody wants to embrace a person that's living, but they always want to embrace a person and be part of a condolences trend when they're passed. And I think that's really, really bad. That's extremely harsh and terrible that is that much hatred and anger out there for that. Now, I'm not one to like fake, phony BS. You know, I was there for Vic and his family and loved ones, and I was there for Louis. Not because I wanted to showboat or do it, because I did it because it was the right thing to do. They would do the same for me, and because I considered them family. I got in the car. Even now, I'm still going through what I'm going through with my cancer. Morning sickness, the whole 9. I was strong. I drove from here. I drove almost 7 hours to my sister's. I stayed there for 2 days with her and my nieces. Then I drove down another 6.5, 7 hours to my friend Wee, who was my high school buddy. And they moved from Virginia to New York, from New York, where I met them years ago, to Georgia, and that's where they've been since '95. Beautiful home, doing all right, and I wind up, you know, driving another 7 or so hours from Georgia to Florida. When I finally got to Florida, it was about close to midnight. Louis's mom embraced me with the biggest hug and, you know, lip-to-lip kiss. Then, you know, of course I didn't, you know, kiss Mike and Pop on the lip, but, you know, I was fully embraced, and I was fully welcomed from everybody, and, you know, they really didn't want us to leave, and I felt guilty leaving, but it didn't spook me out, because I love Louis, and I'm not afraid of anything like that, and there's no reason why he would want to come back, harm me or anything. It just felt awkward and weird, you know, sleeping in the last place he slept. sleeping in his room, which his family allowed me to do because of the love and respect they have for me, and vice versa, because I'm considered family. As well as taking a shower and setting foot in the same place where he took his last breath. That was the most emotional part for me. You know, and then, you know, every now and again I would be teary-eyed, so I had to hide it from the family because I didn't want them to well up. And, you know, Isaiah's 9. He understands, but he doesn't. No, he knows, but he doesn't understand. That's probably the better word. And it just seeing the look on Mom's face when she seen Isaiah getting in and out of that pool. It was different. It was just the look of emptiness and utter love as a parent, and seeing the joy that me and Isaiah brought, especially Isaiah brought to her and the rest of the family. It was like an empty void that was kind of fulfilled momentarily, but it was fulfilled. So the higher being making sure I got down there and back safely was all part of Lou's plan, as well as the higher being knowing that something righteous was being done to help everybody's transition, including my own. So I want to give thanks to a higher being, and I want to give thanks to everybody who support the Pepe family, give their deepest condolences, and truly liked Lou. And let this be a lesson for us all. Everybody needs to stop the bickering drama. This guy wasn't even considered really cold yet when people start bickering over shows and all this other idiotic nonsense. Now, I'm kind of getting myself, I would never be back to normal. It's to the point where I may just get rid of YouTube, even though me and Lou was always going back and forth. He was always my knight in shining armor to say, no, don't do it. But I think I am. I do appreciate the words of encouragement to those out there, which happens to be a couple of individuals, almost everybody that I mentioned. But again, I gravely ask people to please leave the Pepe family alone as far as knowing why Louis passed away. And there's something I want to put out there. There's something about a statue that was supposed to have been given away, and Louis gave the first place prize person the Iron Spider. Listen, Louis' parents are great people. And his mom is trying, but I don't think it's right that they should be thinking, or she should have to worrying about whose statue this belongs to. The man is transitioned off. He is no longer on this plane with us physically. And I don't think it's right that people should think and or bring up or ask anything about anything involved with who should get what, as far as oh well, on the show that, nah, listen, his parents have enough to worry about. There's some statues or any other thing. These people are grieving. Anybody out there who, and you know who I'm talking about, who happens to be a parent or parents, we as parents can never understand or never want to begin to feel or think about what it would feel like to lose one of your children. So I think people should be a lot more sensitive than not worrying about some stupid ass statue giveaway that somebody won. The person won it, and unfortunately Lou fell ill and he transitioned off. You know, he was sent home, so to speak. So so I think all this stuff should be just wiped clean, and people should just brush it off for what it's worth and what it is, and let this family move on, because certain members is driving crazy. You know, some members in the Pepe family are looking at this like people acting like vultures. Like, really? Like, I just lost somebody and this is crazy. And it's not right. It's not right. I was down there and I was gonna do a video, but it wouldn't do justice. It would kind of like conflict with what I'm trying to do and say in this video. And I myself have to kind of be a lot more sensitive and start thinking a lot more before I do actions myself, because I'm not a discreet person. I speak my mind, I say what's on it. And I really have a I don't give a pluck attitude at times. And I think sometimes people take that as being arrogant, or he's just a naive, drama-written, arrogant, negative individual. And I'm far from that. I'm nothing like that. But people, that's what people think or see, because a lot of people know how to deal with a person that's not discreet. You know, they can't deal with a straightforward individual. And a lot of you got bosses like that you hate, but they pay your bills and they put food on the table. You respect them, but you hate them. But you know, anyway, that's a whole different ball game. Again, I just think respect is a lot. You know, we should all embrace, love, and show respect for each other in life, because once we pass away and pass on, you know, all the shoulda, couldas, and the sympathy and the guilt, it doesn't do you no good, and it doesn't do that individual any good, because that individual has no idea you felt this way about them. You know, it's like when Vic was alive, people had a lot to say about him, and I know, because me and Vic are so much alike in so many ways, extremely, so just ridiculous. It was almost it was crazy. And Louis was the opposite of both of us, you know, and that's why it worked between all of us, because we had that respect and shared love for each other, and knew what we meant, and meant what we knew, you know. And another thing I want to say before I end this video is, listen, if you guys and girls out there can go out there and buy any one of these books and get it graded, and or buy one of these statues, let me explain to you how important it is, and how naive and how addictive this thing is. You guys and girls out there need to start contemplating and thinking very, very clearly on making sure that you don't leave your loved ones in a financial burden or do anything. Just take care of yourselves, first of all. Take care of your loved ones. And if you do, I mean, you know, it's gonna happen. We all owe death a visit. You know, we're all gonna leave this earth soon. Some sooner than others, some later than others. But we all are leaving. So I think it's extremely important to make sure that people, if you guys can go out there and spend $200, $300, $400 or $1,000 or more on a statue, there's no way in hell you could be that stupid, naive, and selfish to not be able to give $30 to $50 a fucking month for your life insurance. This is very important. Take care of your loved ones. Write up wills. Doesn't cost much. It's very important to make sure you keep all your affairs in order. A lot of you guys on this show need to figure out ways to contact each other. Everybody should start exchanging phone numbers. Find a way to exchange phone numbers, because if it wasn't for Crespo, I probably would have found out last week, or even out of who knows how long it would have took for me to find out that Louis passed away, because I'm not on social media like the rest of you guys are. You understand? And again, I spoke to my friend, my brother, 5 days before he passed, and he was chewing me out because he wanted me on the show, and he wanted to know why I wasn't on it. And we were conducting some business, and I explained to him what, and he was like, oh, okay. And we had a joke, but you know, I think we both just kind of felt a weird void. Like, you know, it was kind of weird how the conversation ended, for me at least. But it ended, and you know, we both knew we had that love and respect for each other. But you know, you never know. Life's not guaranteed to know, none of us, whether you're 2 months old, 2 weeks old, or 75 to 100. It's not guaranteed. So please start showing brotherly love and respect to everybody while they're alive, and while they can embrace it, hear it, and give it back, than to wait for somebody to pass away and then give the guilt trip and the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It's not worth it. If we all can sit here and take pride in giving free advertisement to companies like these, why can't we show pride and advertise our respect and love for each other because we're all nothing but we're all nothing but a big family of collectors that love what we collect, and we need to start loving and respecting each other a lot more. Because if Vic untimely death didn't show us a lot, now losing Lou, I don't consider myself nowhere like the two of them. You know, and I'll tell you, I have an internal illness. It's nothing to be ashamed of, because it's not like something I contracted or something that I brought upon myself. It's something that just happened to grow inside me, and I'm battling, and I'm fighting it. You understand? And I'm terrified. You know, this is the first time anybody want to really hear me talk about how scared and terrified I am. I'm extremely terrified. You know, I'm terrified because they're both gone, and I have a bad illness, and I don't know when. I'm not gonna know anything. All my worries and sorrow, everything's gonna be over, because there's gonna be nothingness for me. But I want to make sure that I leave behind what needs to be left behind, and there's not that empty void there. You know, like there's gonna be an empty presence in a void for my family and close friends who love me for who I am. But at the same time, I won't have to worry about a financial stress or burden on my family. And again, I cannot keep saying this enough. It's very important that you guys go out there and buy life insurance for yourself and your loved ones, because you never know. Don't keep putting stuff off. If you guys can go out there and buy these stupid ass statues and advertise freely to these companies, there's no reason and no excuse on why you can't sit there and make sure that you're going to be taken care of in your family. Because when you pass away, your loved ones behind you have a grieving process to deal with, and the last thing they need to worry about is figuring out how to put you in an urn or in the ground. So with that basically being said, a lot of people always talk bad also about PCS, about pop culture shock. I've always loved Jerry Macaluso. Always respect his company, and not because he gave me a Street Fighter Akuma bust 3 years ago in Comic-Con, but because of the kind of person he is. He's just that kind of person that gives a shit, and he's really hands-on with his fans. And this was a man that he actually gave money in the GoFundMe account, the GoFundMe thing that everybody helped start for Louis. So I definitely have to give a grave appreciating shout out to Jerry Macaluso, the owner of Pop Culture Shock. And Louis's family would want me to say they appreciate and thank everybody for all their support. They love the fact that Louis was so loved and so well respected in the community for everybody to do what they do. But they do not want anybody to be bickering over who's going to take over the show and this, that, and the third. And they do not, let me tell you, it is not wanted or it's not warranted to ask what he passed away from. The mom is working out stuff for services for Louis, but there is no coffin. You know, Louis obviously he transitioned on, and his fleshly body has returned to dust, and he's actually in an urn. So Louis has been cremated. So there will be no physical farewell for him. But if you guys want to pray and give condolences and your love and support for the family, they know it's out there and they appreciate it. And they do not want to be known or heard of any statues. They're grieving and dealing with a lot. So please don't come asking them, telling them that, oh, Louis owed you this and Louis did me a deal with that. It is not going to fly. You are not going to receive anything. So please understand why this is the way it is. I'm just basically stating that. I don't want nobody to think I'm a bad guy or think that I put it in their head. It's just common sense, Vultures, hypocrites, and nonsense is not wanted and not welcomed. I just wanted to basically say that this video is basically about 15 minutes longer than what I expected it to be. I do gravely apologize for that, but again, thank you so much for your support, your kind words, and thanks for watching the last couple of videos. And the Pepe family would like me to send it off by saying thank you for everything, man. Peace.